I'm sitting here today with Carly, and she is the fundraiser manager for Building Lives, which is a nonprofit that started off in Nashville and is now in Atlanta, Georgia. And what they do is help veterans get back on their feet, get housing, get money, find a job, and basically rebuild their lives. So that's why they're called Building Lives. So, Carly, how did you get this position?
Well, basically, I started off as a volunteer, and we were in a meeting getting suggestions, comments, and it was just kind of thrown at me, and they felt like I would be a good fit since I had already been volunteering for a couple of years. And it was just there. I took it, and here I am.
Okay, so that leadership position was just kind of thrown at you, and I guess they just kind of saw from your volunteer work that you would make a good leader. So what's really your leadership style?
I'm going to say I tend to be a people's person. I want to be approachable. I want to be understanding, try to look at both sides of the coin, and I don't want to seem like I am superior from everyone else. Mm-hmm. And pretty much like open to comment, suggestions, things we can tweak, and so forth. So,
okay. And so what's your personal philosophy or view of leadership?
I feel like being a leader is being accountable, setting the standard to which everyone can follow, and then also being an effective communicator.
Definitely. I completely agree with that. So do you think that, gender or ethnicity, race, background, any of those personal things have anything to do with how you lead?
I think being a female has a lot to do with, because a lot of guys feel like women can't make rational, logical decisions.
We've heard that a lot during this election.
So I tend to just steer towards the facts, keep it simple. So you really don't get the fluff and the feedback. But a lot of guys do feel women can't make logical decisions and we're just emotional beings, which is not true. So run into that a lot being a female.
Yeah, I've run into that same problem as well. So how would you say you interact with your followers or the people that you're leading?
I tend to just get in there and be a part of the crew and not say, hey, I'm here, you guys are here, and we're separate. I just feel like we're a team. So I'm going to be getting my hands dirty with everybody else.
So how do you feel about group projects or anything dealing with a team and how to lead them? How do you think you should go about that?
Well, I feel like depending on how large the group is, you may need to break it down into more intimate groups. Because at that point, you have too many chiefs, not enough Indians, and you can't get anything accomplished. So I think smaller groups probably work the best. And then just try to get a leader for each group, break it down, and then you guys come back together as a larger group.
Okay. So on a day-to-day basis, what are some of the struggles that you face being a leader?
Just trying to get people on task, trying to get people to put forth the best effort at all times. It's hard. And then just trying to do the morally correct thing when you're dealing with helping people rebuild their lives and get back out into the world. So
talking about morals, what do you think a leader should have as far as ethics?
Well, I feel ethics to me is more based on your behavior or conduct versus morals, I feel like, are values. So I think a lot of people get those confused.
Yeah.
But I tend to think that conducting yourself in an ethical manner goes back to being morally correct.
Kind of go hand in hand.
So I'm just basically like keeping it simple, like just treat others the way you want to be treated, and just take it one day at a time.
So me being a student in the leadership program, what advice do you have for me as a future leader?
I would just say, just like my mom told me, the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated, and if you do that, you probably won't have the pullback and the comments and the negative energy from everyone else because they'll feel like you're on their side instead of trying to dictate them. So you may get a little bit more cooperation.
Okay. So after Building Lives, is there anything else that you may want to get into? Anything else that interests you?
I do have one thing on my bucket list. and that is to go to Africa to do the missionary work. Don't know if that's going to come true, but that's one of my dreams. Always wanted to do it. And just go and get the feel of what it's like out there. So I really think it's going to be a culture shock. But I do want that experience. Other than that, that's about it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Carly, for taking the time out to speak with me today on leadership and all that goes with it.